Yeah. Like when we recorded an entire episode without audio. That was actually a pretty good one. Life as a mom, entrepreneur, wife, friend, and human is a lot. Join me, Katie Jacobs.
And me, Brandy Chandler, every Thursday as we have unfiltered, hilarious, and relatable conversations about the ups, the downs, and the chaos of it all.
Pour a glass and pull up a seat.
Because you're always welcome at our table. She did what?
She turned 21.
We're legal. Ah! We're big girls.
This is episode 21, y'all.
Wow.
I don't know how we did it.
Remember when we thought it was episode 12? That's like, if you make it to 12, then somebody told us 21.
And then someone else is like, you need 200 episodes in 5 years.
Really? Maybe
We're like,
we just got the numbers mixed up. I don't know.
No, and then I listened to that girl and she was like, I've been podcasting for 5 years. Keep going. I was like,
You're like, 5? I've been in 6 months now.
has it been 6 months?
Yeah. Well, I mean, because we started talking in December, January.
And then we started
And then
recording in
we-
March.
Well, no, we recorded before then. We aired in March and we had like 4 episodes done when we
Wow.
aired. Yeah.
Wow.
We mean business.
We also found out we are a top 10 globally ranked podcast
Crazy.
out of 3,300,000 plus.
A lot.
A lot. That's exciting.
Yeah, I know.
Just
And I
20
think-
episodes in.
Yeah, because everyone that talks to us just said people get to like into the teens or early teens and then they just,
Peter.
they just stop.
They peter out.
Because podcasting ain't cheap.
And it's not for the faint of heart.
No, you gotta like it.
You got to love it.
So
I think people think they're going to get on and just talk about their lives. And they don't realize that, like,
your life is boring. But that's the truth. I mean, we have all these issues pop up, and I'm like, "Oh, Katie, let's do an episode." And you're like, "That is so stupid." So, like, you have
what did I say that about? What episode?
I'm just exaggerating, but just
I
like
might have said it.
you've we try to be conscientious and talk about things that we feel other women are thinking about and might like to hear a conversation on.
Yes. Which is the definition of
But sometimes
creating content that people actually
but
want to.
sometimes I suggest something or you suggest something and the
Sure.
other one has to be like, no.
Brandy will just take my ideas and just keep moving them down the dock.
Yeah, we have a huge doc where an idea pops up and we just add it.
Plop it in there.
Because sometimes, we're not in the mood. Like, it's a good idea, but you have to be in the mood.
Also, I'm very excited about our episode around the holidays.
The boundary?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's going to be
It's
good.
gonna be.
That's gonna be good. Huh?
We don't want anyone to steal our idea.
I don't
We
think
don't
we're
want anyone to
getting
start a
poached yet.
podcast, get to November, and steal our idea. Hey, baddies. Did you know you can now become an official She Did What Baddie supporter on Patreon? We have 3 tiers of support, and with each one, you get exclusive content. We're talking unedited videos of Brandy and I are holding nothing back. You get access to short episodes such as Brandy interviewing me on my birthday, our take on the trad wife trend, and the very first time we ever tried to record an episode. And more are on the way. You get all of those episodes I just mentioned, plus a monthly catch-up episode where we talk about everything we love, loathe, are watching, reading, obsessed with, and what we're totally over. Plus, you get all the episodes, all the catch-ups, and a shout-out in the podcast credits as an executive baddie for the podcast. You'll be the first to hear news, events, and you'll be who we go to for polls and ideas. Go to the link tree on our Instagram page at Podcast She Did What to get straight to our Patreon and join today. You can also chat with us directly on Patreon. We can't wait for you baddies to see this extra content and enjoy the fun. So today we're just going to talk about the episodes. We're going to talk about what's coming. We're going to talk about turning 21.
Yeah. We're big girls now.
We put on our
Do we have
big
to
girl
start
pants.
paying our own bills?
Do I have to pay taxes?
Do I have to pay for my own insurance?
Will you call the government for me?
No, we are not involving the government at all.
Speaking of, the Social Security office sent my mom like this note, and it was like she's, I guess, taking, I don't understand how any of it works, but like she takes on my dad's Social Security.
Yeah.
And it's like, my dad, it has not been 2 months since he passed, and they're like, if we don't get proof, you're done. It's like,
they're
oh my God,
intense.
they do not understand the bereaved.
No,
Wow.
they are intense.
Wow. Not nice people.
And that's another episode. That is another episode.
What?
I'm going to talk about aging parents. Because I've signed I dealt with my grandmother's Social Security, and I've signed both my parents up. I mean, I can barely do it. And I do tech stuff. Like, how do they expect old people to
I
do
don't
this
know.
stuff?
I don't know.
I mean, it is really just not set up for them. Anyway, that's another episode. We're just in our 20s here.
Yeah, that's down the line. All right. So what do you think we've done best?
You answer.
No, I asked you.
So bad. So I don't know. We laugh a lot. I'm so bad at the questions. Am I?
Brandy, answer the damn question. What have we done best?
We've brought a variety, I feel like.
Yeah.
So I can gauge like from my friends, I think. So I have friends from all across my life listening. From teenagers to older women at church.
Ooh.
But I think that's good. We've like run the gamut, and
we haven't scared.
I mean,
off?
they might be scared, but they listen.
They're like, hang on, let me make sure my pacemaker's working today.
Let's see what Brandy's doing this week. So I think that's just, we've really tried. We wanted to like be open for everyone, because it's really hard to not, because we could go mom all day, all night, because that's where we are. But we try not to over mom. So we include younger people and older people that just aren't in that wonderful phase of life that we're in.
Well, because listen, it took something to get here, and it's going to take something to get to the next.
Yes.
And it's an evolution, all of it. And we don't sit where we are because we don't acknowledge the past or think about the future. So I think we have done two things well from the side of being a podcaster, and we got into this not knowing much of anything
At all.
At all.
Still don't.
At all. It's like motherhood. We just jumped right in. But I think we have been really consistent in our efforts to create every week an episode that we feel passionate about on our end, and that we feel like will be enjoyable on the other end. Yeah. And there have been many an episode and many hours that we have trashed because we have listened back and not felt like it was strong enough, or it was too meandering. And there's a lot of that, like where we have said, oh, this is just not,
Yeah. There have been a lot of redos.
A lot of redos.
Like, it's there, but it's not there.
So I think we've done that well from the podcaster standpoint of making sure we're not just, oh, let's just dump this content out there.
Yeah.
It's like, let's create an episode that is curated and will be enjoyable to listen. If I don't enjoy listening to it, y'all sure as hell won't. So
I totally crack myself up when I listen back.
Oh,
do you?
Sometimes I laugh out loud at our conversations.
I will be like on my walk listening to like, what's the producer?
Like, you're like, I'm so funny. Oh,
and I'll be like smiling and cracking.
They're like, that Brandy.
I hope other people think it's funny.
That Brandy, that new couple in the neighborhood. He's out there in that tank top, and she's just walking around smiling. They must have a great marriage.
Pot growing in the backyard.
What are they on? Are they on a well? What's in their well water?
Yeah.
I think we've done that well. On the other side, I think we have gone headfirst into topics that aren't always easy to talk about. And sometimes I listen back. Like, we have an episode that I'm a little nervous about.
Which one?
Mean Girls.
Why?
Because I did. You know how we say, like, you're always welcome at our table. And when we started this and we went through the process of figuring out how we wanted our our like the branding, which is such a buzzword, but really how we wanted this podcast to feel. We wanted it to feel like sitting at dinner with us.
Yes.
Having these great conversations. Sometimes they're juicy. And I feel like I was very juicy.
Oh, no, it's fine.
You always say that, though.
That's our next.
And then the night before the podcast drops, I'm like, oh my God. Am I going to get shunned from Athens?
No.
From all the communities.
You can come to Bogart with me.
People are going to be like, I don't want to talk to that girl. She's going to put it on our podcast.
Maybe. Sometimes I've wondered that about my friend, like my really good friends, because they know who I'm talking about.
But no one else knows you're talking about.
No, they haven't called me out yet. There was one text I got. They're like, so who were you talking about X, Y, and Z?
What was it? Say it. Name them.
I can't name them, but it was the box. Remember when I was like,
I do remember the box.
Brandy?
The box that you would like run into their house and get out for them.
Yeah.
I don't know who it is, and I know your friends, so I don't know who it is, and I know your friends. No, I think sometimes we
It's Katie, everyone.
I wish I need to get a box.
I know you were like, what? There's a box?
I know. Damn it. I need a box.
Where do I sign up for this?
In reference to that, if you missed that episode.
Yeah. So my friends have little secretive boxes that if something happens to them, I'm supposed to go squirrel away before their parents or children
go to clean out their homes.
Even maybe I need to ask.
I was
maybe
actually
even an extended hospital stay. Am I supposed to grab it just in case?
No, I don't think extended hospitals.
Okay.
It's going to be if someone's cleaning out the bedroom. But
well, those parents are like, "What's in this box?"
I know they're so nosy. I think my mom's in my bathroom. My mom has moved in with us. I think she's in my bathroom every day.
She's trying on all your product.
She is.
I thought I had more of this moisturizer.
Oh my gosh. That episode. What episode was that?
I have no idea
because I was cracking up.
I have
listening
no
back
idea
to that one.
what episode that was. I
was
can't
funny.
remember anything.
So I think going back to the question, I think we take it very seriously what we put out there, but also I think something we do well is really we're thoughtful about our topics.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah. And we try to gauge things even if we're not going through them that we see
Sure.
is an issue.
Sure. What do you want to work on or change?
Just continuing to do that. I mean, it sounds kind of easy, but there are some weeks where I'm like, what are we going to talk about next? And then we'll have like 20 ideas, So sometimes it seems like, oh, is there anything left to talk about? But yeah, there is.
Oh, that's never my concern.
Okay.
My concern is I want our setup, like we're always updating our tech. I want to do more social. I want our setup to we want to kind of change up our look here. So that's always I think the business side of it is always on my brain.
Yeah.
I never worry about the content because I can run my mouth for days. And there's always something. I mean, every day I think of something and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We got to talk about this.
Yeah.
So
it's been fun though to grow something and not have to be like, we've kind of taken our growing pains and just grown with them. Like we haven't like dosed up on painkillers, so we're not dealing with them or like overlooked them. We've just kind of been like, okay, this is where we are right now.
Yeah. Like when we recorded an entire episode without audio. That was actually a pretty good one. Stuff like that.
Just some little things like that.
Stuff like that. What's your favorite episode?
I don't know. We were talking to another podcaster and we needed to suggest some of these. And I don't know because I like some of the first ones. Faith stood out to me a lot, friendship. But then like the Mean Girls and Tantrums that have just come out, those were really strong to me. It's an evolving favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have like a definitive?
I really I feel like if I can look at the whole, I like the topics that we take on that are really kind of big, like faith and friendship. I think I actually love the grief episode selfishly because even yesterday I was thinking, oh my gosh, like what happened at this time, and I have that recording to remember a very important moment of life,
Yes.
which is, ushering my dad out of this world. So I just, I think those big, but I would say friendship and faith, shockingly, are, I think
Yeah.
faith is probably one of our strongest episodes.
Well, I think it's just so unique that we just sat down and had a conversation. No one was trying to convince anyone to believe anything or not believe anything or tear each other's beliefs down. And I think that's really rare. So I think that's why it just stands out to me as just one of my favorites.
I
It was just
agree.
very respectful and really open ears. And it's so hard to listen. It really is. It's so hard to listen and not just want to talk. So I think it was just a good example of listening and being considerate of someone else.
Mm-hmm. And having different views.
Yeah. Because that doesn't always go well.
No, it doesn't. Sure as hell doesn't. Yeah, I think faith is probably, and I just love the friendship one because it just meant so much to me to record that episode.
They both have a lot of influence in things we're planning in the future.
That's right.
So maybe that's why they stand out to us
Maybe,
too.
yeah, because they're already kind of something we're thinking about growing on.
Yeah.
What's our biggest surprise?
I feel like this should be more fun than my answer. But I feel like it's been a very fun process. We've enjoyed it, even though it's been a lot of work and a lot of learning how to work things.
Right. The actual tech
But it's also therapeutic. All the time we're like, wow. We're performing therapy on ourselves.
I do feel like these conversations are therapeutic. I think back on them a lot. And wow, I'll have a realization while we're sitting here having a conversation. I'm like, damn.
And I'll use it, I'll
right.
use the things we talk through. You have great ideas, things we mentioned that our friends suggest.
In our Patreon episode, I was talking about joy. And a big part of our sex episode was talking about, finding joy in your relationship and your sex life and pleasure and really, not making it so performative, but making it really just joyful and pleasurable. And I think that's something, you know what I mean?
Performative, yes.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think when you're younger,
I'm
it's
just
very
laughing.
do I look good? Is this person going to find, and it's that kind of falls away after a while when you just start to worry about, taking care of you. So anyway, I just think about how that works in the rest of life and maybe we need to be that way in other parts of our life. But yeah, I mean, I think the biggest surprise has been the people that listen.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I think people I really thought would love and listen. I'm like, I don't think that person listens to my podcast.
We were on the phone with one of your friends the other day and you're like, Brandy's here with me. And we were talking about the podcast. She goes, who?
I was like, Brandy.
Thanks for listening to the podcast.
I know that. I know. I think I said that. Or you said it. You're like, thanks for listening. It's like my best friend. And then sometimes I think people listen. I'm like, I can tell. I'm like, oh God, I think that person's listening.
I know. I have sometimes at preschool, I'm like, are they judging me? Do they know about the podcast? When I'll see somebody likes the podcast that I know outside of the podcast, I'm like, hi.
Welcome to our table.
Welcome.
Our motivation moving forward.
Yeah.
This one's easy.
Is your answer the same as mine?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's what if we have different answers?
Mine's a little different.
Yeah. I think we just really want to build the community more. We love it when we get responses and we try to let you know, whether it's included in an episode or we just respond directly back to you that, your response was greatly appreciated and taken in and thought over. So I really want to continue building that and do more things with our listeners and then also continue our authenticity. I don't want us to be too worried about ratings or, what's trending, should we do this because it's trending?
Being authentic.
Yeah. And just do what we feel is true and needed.
I think that's a lesson I've learned over the years. Anytime you, in my clothing business is anytime you get too into the trend or away from you know, the reason you're there.
Yeah.
You get caught up in the wrong stuff. So
Well, even like Instagram, like I get so tired of seeing everyone performing the same reel, you know?
Yeah.
And like, it's just there. And I'm like, what? I didn't like it the first time. I don't want
Now I
to
have to see
see
it
it
50
50
other
more
times.
times. So I don't want to fall into those traps. Sometimes it's funny, you know, but
one of the
I
big
don't want that to be our bulk.
no. And I think the feedback we get, and sometimes we get some like heavy feedback. One of the ones that really stands out to me is the woman who reconnected with her dad after she listened to Grief.
Yes.
I was like, wow.
Like that episode was so good, I think, for you personally to talk through.
It felt selfish episode. Yeah.
But that's probably our biggest response. Like, could we have asked for anything better to come out of that?
Well, I hope. And then I started feeling like, oh my gosh, what if that doesn't go well?
Oh, no.
You know what I
think it was
mean?
really well received.
No. With her specific situation.
Well, yeah.
With that listener. Like if it doesn't go well,
Hopefully,
you know,
well.
I hope so.
Then she might not listen anymore.
Oh gosh. But we get some responses like friendship. We got, oh my gosh, the responses to friendship were overwhelming. I think that was such a love letter to our friends, a way of giving our thanks to them in the stories of the ways and the help you need too was another one.
Yes.
And I think those are odes to what community means to us. And I think those episodes resonate really well because women connect so viscerally with other women on these topics and how life can be just really difficult and how we need each other.
Yeah. And how if you're not, you know, putting into your female friendships, let's put some more time there. It's worth it.
Right. Yes, absolutely.
All right. What you going to do with this bad boy moving forward, Katie?
Well, one of the things we've been talking about is these larger, we kind of took on really early these big topics.
Yes.
And we took the umbrella approach. And now what we want to do is sort of dive deeper into them and have some deeper conversations on some topics and those are going to look different ways. We're going to have some guests come in and help us navigate those waters. We've got a couple confirmed, and we're going to take these conversations kind of to a new realm, get some third parties involved, which I'm excited about.
I am so excited.
And, you know, I think just continue this, you know, not being afraid to continue to have these very honest and open conversations and be who we are and say what is on our minds. And even if it makes us a little nervous so we're going to have experts in their fields. We've got some other podcasters we're going to cross over with that I'm so excited about. We are fangirling over one in particular just continue, I think, to have these conversations about life, about what we're experiencing, what we have experienced, what we're actually, one thing I really want to talk about is aging. And I know it's not on the surface, the sexiest topic, but specifically like what it's like to look in the mirror at 41 and start seeing someone that like on some days I don't really recognize.
Yeah.
And like
some days.
On a lot of days.
Every day.
And just be like, what the? I think we need to, because I'm very much wrestling with that right now. So we're going to have some great conversations that, you know, I think will continue to hopefully resonate. And, you know, please continue to give us your feedback.
Yes. Let us know if there's anything you know, that we have not touched on that you want us to talk about, or anything that we've lightly touched on that you want us to dive deeper into.
Absolutely.
We also have our first confirmed guest to do a Wiser Than Me style interview. Right. And I'm very excited about it.
I'm so stoked.
She is a great conversationalist.
And a bit of a wild card.
We know this. Yes. So I have no idea what this one's going to end up like, but it's going to be good. It's going to be funny.
Buckle up.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
Very excited.
But a lot of wisdom in her experiences.
Yeah. She's lived a lot.
And she is an open book.
She really is.
So very excited about that.
The text she sent us the day.
Can you tell the text? It's so funny. And it'll get you excited.
So we group texted this person and we were like, we were wondering if you would like to, be a guest on our podcast.
And sort of framed it how we see it
Yeah.
going.
And so she texted back, yes. She said she was in Best Buy and someone just pooped in the floor and the manager was going to get cat litter. So we were just like, okay. And can't wait to have you on the pod. In my mind, I was thinking somebody just tooted and it smelled really bad. Is that what you thought?
No, because I know her and I know
I just
she
thought
was
like somebody let
literal.
one rip and she walked through it and it was bad.
No.
So we keep texting. Someone legitimately pooped in the floor.
Like a grown person.
And she got a discount on her Apple Watch.
She's like, don't worry, I got 20% off my Apple Watch.
So in her interview, I want to ask if she asked for that discount.
Or if they were like, if anyone was in aisle 4 at 11:58, please see customer service desk.
So this guest will not hold back on you. She's going to give us
No.
every detail
Mm-hmm.
of everything.
Yeah, she will.
I've told that story so many times
Mhm.
since that happened. I was like, I just thought somebody farted. I don't
No. No.
Well, I mean, I've never been in a store where someone's pooped in the floor.
Dude, people are losing it in 2024. There's so much wild stuff going on. I mean, didn't you see that guy last week? He like stood up on the airplane and just peed
No, I didn't.
in front. Like he was in one of the exit aisles,
No.
where he had room, and he just stands up peeing.
I missed that.
I saw a photo. I was like, no way. Oh, yep. People are losing it.
So yeah,
It's kind of tantrums, right?
yeah. I
Do
guess.
you think someone just
so.
had to go, or they had a tantrum?
Yeah, I mean, it could have just been.
I'm
like
sorry.
a shart.
I would rather poop my pants.
They
than-
might not have known it was coming.
It landed on the ground. Were there not layers between the person and the ground?
That's exactly what I said. I was telling my
we need more
kids
info.
too, and they were like, "Well, how did it like come out?"
I can't tell my kids this information because it will be all they talk about for the next 6 months.
We had a lot of questions.
So anyway, we're excited about this guest. And then we have another guest confirmed.
Which one?
The one who didn't know who you were.
Yes, but she's an expert.
She's an expert.
She
in her
falls
field.
under the expert category.
She's an expert, but she's also very funny, and she'll kind of switch on and off from like,
From expert to friend. Yeah.
yeah, which is unique because she's one of
Yes.
my best friends. So
I think those are going to be really good episodes.
I know. I'm so excited about our guest.
Yeah.
So y'all stay tuned.
It's going to be fun.
I know.
We love engaging with you listeners. We really would love to hear more thoughts and ideas that you have of what you want to hear.
That's right. So we'll catch you episode 22.
I know. Wild. We're like real adults.
I know. We're adulting. I'm feeling 22.
Aww.
All right, y'all. We hope you are having a great week. We'll see you next
Yeah.
week.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We hope you enjoyed our conversation and can't wait to share another episode with you next Thursday.
Make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. To keep up with the latest, make sure to follow us on Instagram at Podcast She Did What. We'll be sharing updates, behind the scenes, and announcements you won't want to miss.
And if there's anything you'd like to share with us, whether it be a personal story or feedback on our episodes, you can leave us a voicemail at 762-499-2201 or head over to our website, shedidwhatpodcast.com. Also, feel free to leave us a review down below. We'd love to know what you think.
She Did What is hosted by us, Brandy Chandler and Katie Jacobs, and produced by Studio D Podcast Production.
Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you next Thursday. And remember, it isn't always easy, but it sure as hell can be entertaining.